6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi there, everybody. Fox 61 meteorologist Ryan Breton with you with a live update here on our digital platforms. Good to see you on a Monday night. Most of us probably waiting on the snow at this point, and it is coming into the state as we speak. If it hasn't started where you live, you're probably in central or eastern Connecticut. It's starting right now in parts of western Connecticut, and will be overspreading the state over the next couple of hours between now and about 10 o'clock. If you're in eastern Connecticut, it may take a little later until 10:30, maybe 11, but for all of us, it'll be snowing certainly by midnight, and the heaviest of the snow in this storm will fall from midnight through 6 a.m. If you happen to be watching us, say, on Facebook or YouTube, and you can put in comments, feel free to put in some comments, because after we go through the forecast, I've got my computer over here, and I'll go through and read some of those comments and answer any questions you might have. Here's a look at the live radar, and it's interesting. You look at the radar, this might seem a little threatening to you at 8 o'clock, right? A lot of blue on the map. What's happening here, at least on the leading edge, is the radar is hitting snow that's 3, 4, 5,000 feet above the ground. There's some dry air in the lowest part of the atmosphere that's evaporating these snowflakes at the beginning of the storm. And one way we can tell where it is snowing is by looking at the visibility. And notice we've got 10s across the board, which means no issues with visibility. There's nothing really falling in most of the state. However, Danbury, 6-mile visibility, that's an indication that snow has started in Danbury, and we'll move the map to the west a little bit. Notice the visibility is much lower in the Hudson Valley, probably a half or maybe even close to a quarter mile in spots. So right on the other side of the New York border, the snow is hitting the ground, and it is getting quickly intense. And once we get this band of snow in here that's right around I-87, once that comes into the state in the next couple of hours, the air will saturate, those snowflakes will make it to the ground. And there's steady snow falling now, western parts of New Jersey, eastern and northeastern Pennsylvania as well. Bigger picture, we've got a ways to go with this storm. There's a lot of moisture back to the west, and it's all going to be coming our way in the next 12 to 18 hours. It's a pretty quick hitting storm, at least for the heaviest of this snow, but it will linger a little bit into the day tomorrow. Here are the temperatures right now. We're down to freezing in Waterbury, 31 in Torrington, Willimantic, Norwich, Putnam also down below freezing, but a lot of the state is above freezing right now. However, the dew points are low, not usually something you see us mention in our weathercasts in the winter, but when the air is dry like this, the dew points are low, and we need the dew points to creep up. And what happens is the temperature drops as the dew point creeps up. So even though the temperatures are above freezing in spots now, as soon as the snow begins, the temperatures will be dropping and the air will be cooling. And tonight, we think temperatures will be in the 20s inland. This is where we'll have a fluffier snow. And if you're along the shoreline, it'll be a little bit of a wetter snow with temperatures right around or just over freezing along the Connecticut shoreline. So big differences in how the snow may pile up in our small state, given those temperature differences. So here we go. By midnight, or this is 10 o'clock, I should say, it is snowing across the state. The darker blues, that band of snow that right now is in eastern New York, will be into western Connecticut by 10 o'clock. And we should start getting some decent snow rates from Waterbury to Danbury into Litchfield County by 10 o'clock tonight. By midnight, we have steady snow all across the state, and there will be some areas that start picking up an inch per hour snows, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And then this is 6 a.m. After this point, the best energy and forcing with the storm will have gone by to our south and east. So the snow will start to become a little bit more patchy and periodic. It will not be done completely. It will hang around through much of the day tomorrow, but it won't have the same punch that it will during the night tonight. And also, at the same time, the temperatures will be going up, particularly near the shoreline. So if you happen to be watching on the shoreline, we'll probably be in the mid, maybe upper 30s, midday into the afternoon tomorrow, and they'll either have wet flakes or maybe even a bit of drizzle at the shore. The exception will be inland, northern Connecticut up into the hills. This is where it will be colder, and the snow may still accumulate a little bit into tomorrow afternoon and early evening. So no big changes to the snowfall forecast we brought you last night. A widespread 4 to 8 inches of snow across the state, accounting for the colder air, the fluffier snow, and the fact that it may still accumulate a bit into tomorrow afternoon in the hills. This is where we'll likely get 8, 9, 10 inches of snow, say from Wolcott into Avon, Burlington, Canton, Torrington, Winsted, New Hartford, Barkhamsted. These areas probably end up being the jackpot out of this storm. I've got a couple maps or graphics, I should say, just to illustrate how this adds up. In New Haven, most of your accumulation is done by 9 o'clock in the morning, and then after that, we just taper it down to some flurries and maybe even a little bit of drizzle. In Hartford, you've got maybe 5, 6 inches on the ground by late morning, and then you might get another inch in the afternoon. Not a ton of accumulation, but enough that the ground may get coated again even after the plows go by. In Waterbury, though, once you get a little bit to the west, again, you may get another inch or two during the afternoon, but this is much more pronounced as you get up in elevation. A place like Torrington, you've got 7 inches at 9 in the morning, and then you may get another 2 inches during the day. So that's why we have those areas in the bullseye, so to speak, with 8 inches or more of snow expected. This is kind of just a look at the travel impact with the storm. Again, the worst is going to be overnight, midnight to 6 a.m., and then things should improve a bit as we go toward mid and late morning. I think by 10 o'clock, at least the main roads should be plowed, treated, and whatnot by that point. But by the afternoon, there still may be a slick spot or two, particularly inland, where the temperatures are a little colder and there may be a bit steadier snow. On the shoreline, I don't think it's any problem as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. All right. That's the next storm. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do want to get to some of your comments. I'm on the Facebook page right now. I'm going to bring my laptop in so I can read some of these. Let's see here. Hello from Kelly in Norwich. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. Happy Monday night from Torrington. Hi, Jean. Hello, Jess from Meriden. If anybody's got a question, feel free to chime in. I'd be happy to answer. And if I don't get, okay, Candace has got one. Can you please let me know what and how much Hamden, Connecticut's going to get? So Hamden, a little bit inland from the shoreline. Get into a couple of hills around Quinnipiac. I'd say 4 to 8 inches is a decent range. If I had to guess, you'd probably be in the lower end, 5, 6 inches of snow. And then a place like Hamden, you're mostly done accumulating by about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You may get a coating after that, but the bulk of the heavy, steady accumulating snow will be done. So if I had to guess a number for Hamden, probably about 6 inches. Don't hold me exactly to that, though. That's why we give the range. But since you're here on Facebook Live, I give a little bit of my input in that way. How about Kelly in Norwich asking, how much do we think Norwich may get? You know, there's one issue in eastern Connecticut. The question has been how much moisture gets there. So it's a little harder to pin down an exact number in Norwich. So we'll keep it the 4 to 8 inch range, kind of like 6 in Norwich, too. Let's see. Sean goes, I don't know what about Torrington and Litchfield, but Mother Nature is aggravated and holds a grudge. All has to do with the topography up here. The hills just help generate more snow in a lot of these circumstances. You're welcome, Kelly. You're welcome, Candace. All right, so just to summarize, right now, we're waiting on the snow in most of the state. It is now beginning in western Connecticut. And as we showed you on the radar, I'll back this up a little bit. We can tell by the visibility, Danbury is down to 6 miles, but just over the border, there is some pretty heavy snow. This leading edge is just drying up. So that's why we've been saying between 7 and 10 o'clock, the snow will be beginning across the state. We're going to be back on here at 9 o'clock with another update. I'll pop on our Facebook page, though, in a little while, see if I can answer some more questions. If you have any more questions, though, you can either leave them in the comments or you can come back here at 9 o'clock. And if between now and then it starts snowing where you are, I'd love to hear from you. Especially in a storm like this, any ground truth is very helpful, so feel free to comment in once it starts snowing. See you back here at 9 o'clock and on the air at 10 o'clock.